dear people. Welcome to a new episode of Restoration
Restoration
Talks. Today, we are starting with a brand new theme. We're going to look at the evil ruling nations and their judgments. And today's episode is called Babylon the
Babylon the
Great.
Great. Babylon. Chant down
Babylon.
Babylon.
Last
Last week,
week, last week we already discussed Chant
chant down
Down
Babylon.
Babylon. Brother and sister did a wonderful job in
Oh,
explaining how that system works, how we are
true.
also
True.
part of that system, and we are going to continue the topic because Babylon the Great is a very interesting topic to research, to read about in the scriptures, and especially what it means for us
Yeah, and I also
today.
think everybody's kind of occupied,
Hmm.
obsessed
Yep.
with people would then call it um, conspiracy
Yep.
theory.
Yes.
What's behind the scene? What is
Hmm.
happening? Who are the 1% or the 0.1% even
It's not
nowadays?
1% anymore.
Yeah, no,
The
too
economy
many
is
people.
hard.
Too many people you on that. So indeed, man, this in so it's a really interesting
Hmm.
topic because everybody's always one way or the other busy with it. Like for example, like even if you are not related in the sense of
Hmm.
scriptures and
Yeah.
studying Babylon the Great.
Mhm.
Still, let's say for you, they always find who's Illuminati, for example,
Yeah.
or who are the one behind, or what are the Jews doing actually. So I think
Hmm.
it's always a topic that everybody's one way or the other engaged with.
Yeah. It all has to do with each other. Everything is connected in this world. And I think that's something I hope that we will also touch on. Everything is connected. The systems, the schools, our
So,
food,
so
medical things, everything, the news, what is happening in other countries.
so.
They're just a group of people that they're deciding what is happening in this world, and I think that's also why the ministers often say that you have to really look at the news, read news articles, because otherwise you're not going to understand what is happening in the world, and you're also not going to be able to connect it to what the scripture is saying or has already prophesied. So I think that's very important to do as we're going to start talking about Babylon the
The
Great.
great.
Yeah, so
Because Babylon, Babylon, chant down Babylon.
yeah, the Jamaican brothers say it many times.
I
They are
think
there.
those they have identified Babylon
Long time ago.
long time.
Yeah.
We are
We are,
way yeah, man.
we are
We are
just
just catching
starting.
up.
That's true. That's
They
true.
identified a long time. That's also really nice,
Hmm.
right? Scriptures also identified it
Hmm.
multiple times
Yeah.
to various prophets, people, and it was always that yeah, the ones who basically rebel against
Yeah. The system actually is as the system that we're living in. Some people say Babylon is America. Some people say Babylon is Rome. Some people
Vatican.
say Babylon is the EU. There's so many theories on who it actually is. And if you look at the scriptures, Babylon, you have multiple mentions of
Yeah.
Babylon, sometimes with another type of description. But I believe that the Bible's teaching and showing us it's all connected with each other. Just because the form has maybe
The
changed,
old
it's
serpent.
exactly the same. So if you really want to know who Babylon the Great is, you have to go to the
Even Daniel lived right
beginning.
in the period of Babylon.
Yeah.
No, but that's all we mentioned that if he could survive Babylon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he basically he was not just
Was surviving.
he was surviving and still able to serve. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think So for nowadays, yeah, people are really obsessed with Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
Babylon. How can I find my way? What are we going to do? And all these things, but
Mm-hmm.
you can still. It is impossible to serve Yah in the days in the end time in the
Yes,
last
it's
days.
possible. It is possible. It will take more effort, I guess, than in the times of Daniel.
Why?
I believe the strategy is a bit different.
Okay. But the time for Moses, or for let's say Noah until Daniel,
I
it
think a
also
lot of
changes.
a lot of the influence of that system or that Babylon system has to do with our subconscious as well. So what are the things that we maybe automatically do? We don't think about it. And that's why I say we are part of the system as well. We go to work, we go to school. What are they teaching in the schools? You're just a number in society, but they are somewhat training or programming you to do and think and act in a certain way.
I agree, but I disagree.
Yeah. Disagree. Why?
Because as in that it just started now,
Mm-hmm.
right? That we are now part of this. Because like in the days of old, as I mentioned, uh, let's say the Israelites, or
Mhm.
let's say for now to establish a sort of foundation context,
Mm-hmm.
let's say then everything which is against the system of Yah, the
Yeah.
laws of Yah, the living, the lifestyle of Yah, we will
Mhm.
call that Babylon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Israel
Yeah.
was multiple times conquered by various nations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They
Taken
they
into
lost
exile.
their
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's another language that they're speaking. They lost their history also, because that's
Mm-hmm.
why everything has also been rewritten by the by Esdras.
Yeah.
So I feel like it has always been like that. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
said I agree. I disagree. As in, they have always have lost track of
Mm-hmm.
serving Yah,
Yeah.
or not to serve Yah, or they were always part of the system and they
Yeah.
didn't know how to navigate. So they also took on the customs
Yeah.
of the people back, of the conquerors back then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel, yeah, I agree, but disagree.
Yeah.
And so that's why my question is, why, what makes this different if
Hmm.
they have always lost their language, lost their history, lost their nations, their names,
Yeah.
everything has been changed.
I think the level of deception.
Okay.
Even those that are
Yeah.
deceiving are deceived. Yeah. No. Even those that are deceived. Deceived. Like I might even sound like a conspiracy theorist, but there is a way that the system is built. You
That's
have
true.
this top people, elite
Yeah.
people, the leaders of various nations, a lot of European nations. They decide what is happening in the country. Some of the things that they decide, they don't even, those that are beneath them, they don't even communicate their full plans
The
and
simple
ideas. It's
people.
just, this is what we wanted to do, and they roll out the plan.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean with even those that are part of the deception. So the people that are also underneath and carrying out what the system wants don't even know that there's a hidden agenda at
Mhm.
times. And that's the same with us people. The things that we do, oftentimes there is a hidden agenda, but we never question ourselves. We think, oh, it's normal, it's the trend, oh, it's a new law, it's a new legislation. No, there is an agenda behind it, but people don't take the time to think like, okay, what is happening here? I think slightly you see people awakening and questioning and researching more.
Questioning the system.
Yeah, but the percentage is too low.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. For even I think the smallest example or the easiest example is even
Mhm.
the calendar, right?
Yeah.
The people who are who are
For
part of the
example,
system,
for
they even
example.
they can teach the whole calendar,
Mhm.
everything, what school, and then the maps.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the maps. Africa is
For example.
Africa is smaller than the rest of the
So,
continents. How?
yeah, and okay, yeah, okay. Then in that area, uh the system now
Mhm.
basically has perfected in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to correct correct me if I'm wrong. So the
Mhm.
person the system at the moment has perfected in such a way
Yeah.
that even the people who are part of the system, of
Mhm.
are basically who are descendants, let me put it
Mhm.
that way, of the system, are not even aware that that they are deceived,
Mm-hmm.
because the system has perfected in such a way that we are not even aware of the root of the changes that has been taking place nowadays.
Yeah.
So because before time you would know, oh yeah,
Mhm.
Nimrod, it was him. Oh yeah, Nebuchadnezzar, he was the great one.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, this Alexander the Great. But now it's like, who are those?
Yeah. So it's people don't really think, don't critically think anymore.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's difficult. It's difficult, but
What's your favorite food?
oh, why? Why are you asking this? No,
No, because it's
what does
difficult.
this have to do with the topic?
No, because maybe some people would say, yeah,
No.
I love.
No, but what I was trying to say is we live in a sort of bubble.
Okay.
we want to do this, we want to achieve this in life, and nobody is, as I already said, nobody is questioning why we do
Yeah.
things, why we believe things. We see things on the news. Yes, there's a war going on
Yeah. Yeah.
between Palestine and Israel, and look at what is happening, and
Yeah.
the whole world is siding with Israel, for example.
Yeah.
But do you actually know what is happening over there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And those are the questions that you have to ask, and I don't believe that people do that enough.
Yeah.
And it's the same with this whole Babylon system. And for people
Yeah.
at home, maybe you're like, Babylon, what in the world are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you look at the scriptures, the first mention or where they speak about Babylon or is actually that instance of the Tower of Babel, the kingdom of Nimrod that was a king. But almost everyone knows the story of the Tower of Babel. But people came together, started building a tower because they wanted to come up to where Elohim was,
Mhm.
and it was actually a sign of rebellion against Elohim. And then Elohim caused the confusion to come upon these people, through which the languages were dispersed based on their languages. There was confusion. They didn't understand each other anymore. So they didn't have the ability to come together with one mind, one idea, one common goal, and that was to overthrow Elohim. So that's the first mention of Babylon. It already tells you what to look for when we're speaking about Babylon, because it's a system, it's a nation or multiple nations, throughout history, even throughout biblical history, in which you see that there's utter rebellions against Elohim, but also or mostly against his people. Yeah. And that's why it's important to discuss this, because, as we said, the theme is the evil ruling nations and their judgments. And their judgment. Because if we look at scripture, some nations have been judged or some kingdoms have been judged. But when it comes to Babylon itself, the ultimate judgment still has to come.
And and yeah, that judgment is then we have to wait on Messiah. Because
Well, you don't want to be here.
no, I
when
know,
it-
true. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm also saying is that because now at the moment people also have the tendency to say it happened before, or you know what, I will fight the system.
Mhm.
And one thing which make this the system of Babylon really
Mhm.
powerful and really great is that they had thousands of years, right,
Yeah.
to perfect it.
Yeah.
Thousands of years to perfect it to a level which is right now.
Exactly.
So if you want to fight the system as an individual or as a group or even as a country,
Mhm.
in Africa,
Oh.
okay, hold on.
Oh. Okay.
So even as a country to fight that system,
Mhm.
it is I would say it takes Elohim to make the difference instead of
intervene. Yeah.
mankind. And it shouldn't be in a situation for, yeah, okay, then what shall I do then? Because if I cannot change this whole life, if my life is
Mhm.
like this, what's next? I
Yeah.
think that's why the most important thing what Elohim always gave us also is that come ye out from amongst them, as
Exactly.
in mentally, if you can, even physically,
Mhm.
but especially mentally,
Yeah.
because nowadays we are so obsessed like with evil, in the
Mhm.
sense that I want to research what's evil, what are they doing, da, 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 da. But we are not really obsessed in the same manner with searching for the truth, as in having the
Mhm.
word of Yah living within us.
Yeah.
And now we are, of course, I would say we are all sheeps, and in the sense, as in, I think the both of us, we might be the biggest sheep here on earth.
Mhm.
But for instance, I'll just give an example of
Yeah.
how the system would
Mhm.
operate.
Break it down.
No, for example, it just happened recently, right? So the scriptures talks about the people of the book
Mhm.
are black, for example.
Yeah.
Everybody can argue, "Nay, how dare you? Adam was red."
Mhm.
You know, when you go to the soil,
When
he
you
was
go to the
red, and
etymology. Yeah, 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 yeah,
etymology, and
yeah.
so how dare you? And the media then shows, oh yeah, he was a black person. Like, I don't know if you know, nowadays it's, I don't know why it reappeared in the socials, but Putin, he just opened the gates.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, all of a
Putin
sudden,
opened the floodgates.
the Black Madonna
Yeah,
and
yeah,
who and
yeah.
what, and they were all black, and now everybody's questioning, you're all black, because I was at the barber last time, and then this was a topic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I said, yeah, hey, we have been deceived, man, Christians. I said, yeah, I said, yeah, man. Of
Wow.
course, I was joining
They
them.
realize it's because
Yeah,
of Putin, eh?
yeah, exactly.
Ah.
But then sometime later, I also realized, man, hey, Babylon is up on the next level. Do you know why?
Mhm.
Because it is this the difference between the Babylon right now and before is like now they have the whole world under control. Before it was just a nation.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was a
yeah.
period. It was
Gebied.
it was an area wherein they could control. But now they have the whole. They perfect it in so much that they have the whole world under their hands, in their hands.
Mhm.
So when such a news is broadcasted, I
Yeah.
always question it. Hey, so it takes news. It isn't. It even it didn't even go national news. No. It was.
No, I saw it somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it takes such things to be broadcasted before people will change their perception about
Mhm.
scriptures. Meanwhile, people have always been talking about it.
Yeah, but it's also who said it or who says it.
Yeah,
Who is
exactly.
bringing out
Who's
that
bringing out
information? Yeah.
because now, for example, Putin is now and they want to maybe perhaps put him in the evil daylight and so.
Mhm.
But the point I want to make is that if CNN would put
Mhm.
it, and I would be like,
Breaking news.
oh, whoa. Then you would see the whole masses has changed their perception because
Mhm.
they have posted it. And that is the level of perfection that Babylon has come now. And the point that I want to make is that
Mhm.
now we are, as I said, sheeps, right? So
Yeah.
whatsoever it has been portrayed onto us, that's what we will follow unknowingly. So questioning the system is one thing we have to do.
Mhm.
But coming to the point to really, 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 really question the system, I think my advice is question everything which you are doing, even the language that you speak.
And the things that are being
Yeah, but
thought.
you can drive crazy.
Yeah, but you need to start somewhere, right? Where should people start when they want to find out more about this? That's why we also discussed Babylon from way back. How can you
Yeah,
actually identify?
but they
Because
were
people
never
even
able.
have issues identifying who Babylon is. So someone might say, which system are you talking about? I know that's part of the deception, but which system are you talking about? Where should someone start?
People in the comment section, I'm really curious. Maybe someone, yeah, Elena said, shout out Elena, shout out, hello, shout out. I saw a new feature, by the way. I think if you do like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, sometimes I see
Oh, wow.
yeah, I don't know what
Wow.
happened.
Wow. Fireworks.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it's a new update, but it's nice. Maybe at the end we'll do some fireworks.
Yeah, but maybe people can you stop? But maybe the people in the comment section can let us know who do you think that Babylon is, or
Yeah,
maybe
and where to start. Maybe your main
yeah.
question is also where to start
Mhm.
to question the system,
Yeah.
to question your own belief. Oh, yeah, maybe I'm speaking already
Mhm.
too much. What would you advise another to say? Hey, start
Yeah.
with this. I think one time we established right multiple times that you just need to go to Google and just type
Who is Babylon?
the origin of dot dot dot.
That's a great start. Yeah, no, that's a great start. But also, I mean, last week we touched upon it. So if you did not watch the show, go rewatch the previous show because the minister really zoomed in on Babylon itself, but also looking at which countries to connect. And then we found out that almost whole Europa, Europe is Babylon, part of the Babylon system. And you see in the scriptures as well that the judgment of Elohim, and that's why it's something we should really fear because we are living in those countries. But the judgment of Elohim is going to be very severe on these people because yes, Elohim has allowed us, his children, to be in their hands, but they went way too far. This was not according to the plan. Okay, it was somewhat in the plan, but this was not according to the plan of Elohim. So they kind of abused that, the thing that they were supposed to do with us. We went into slavery. They dispersed us over in the entire world. As you said, no history, language is gone. We don't know anything about
Our
ourselves.
names will change.
Yeah, names are changed. We're just part of the Babylon system. And unless we awaken, and unless we know the truth, and unless there are people like the minister maybe of last week, that bring this truth across, it's going to be very difficult for people to just out of the blue snap out of it, and then, okay, I need to change, I need to get out of this system. Where are you going to? So these are important questions to ask, important things to think upon.
Where are you going with?
I'm going to Ghana. No, but
Yeah,
I have,
man.
but I have thought, I have thought about it, like what to do in those times and how to prepare, because I think that's something that we all have to do. Is mentally prepare. I think we're way too comfortable at the moment. Way too comfortable with the lives that we're living. We have goals here and there. We want to do this and that.
Yeah, but somebody needs to do something, right? We cannot just be in our bed and think, sing the song, stand down Babylon,
Well, the
and do
Jamaicans
nothing.
never forgot. The Jamaicans never forgot.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
singing songs will not change
Yeah.
anything, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's true. So I do have a question also for the people at home, but to you, when you read, I assume you read about Babylon also on the scriptures, right? How were you able to connect the dots for yourself with the times that we're living in?
Our, one of it is, of course, deception, which
Mm-hmm.
has played a huge role of what Elohim always would say, Babylon, Babylon, because that's why it's also said that the one who deceived the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are levels of deception.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, multiple times, you can see that they try to change their history, trying to make sure that they would bow down to that king or to that power. But a level of deception now,
Mm-hmm.
if there would come another kingdom with a higher deception than this,
I don't think we will be ready.
then I don't know.
Mm-mm.
The level, I think we just touch a few
Mm-hmm.
areas of deception. For example, yeah. So for Elohim, always and basically, also when you read throughout scriptures, it is always a warning. Let me phrase it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the books of Acts, they would already say they're already in the last days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it is not so fun. Now we are in the last days, or let's say 100 years later, now we are in the
No,
last days.
we have been.
I think people in
Time is
those Second
ticking.
World War, people also thought they were in the last days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the system which has come to a point that could able to control the world,
Mm-hmm.
that is really, really unique throughout
Yeah.
history.
Mm-hmm.
So for
Think.
Elohim to warn us, for hey, be aware,
Mm-hmm.
be aware of the nation that will be able to control the world. Be aware of the one from whom we all drink the red wine.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware for the times that they will change, the season that they will change. Be aware of the philosophies that will come out from
Oh
them.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So all these things, it totally makes sense that hey, Yama, they are truly rebelling against Yah.
Yeah.
And it's not that it was all of a sudden now. It could have years,
Mm-hmm.
thousands of years could have it started it. But there is a continuous game.
Mm-hmm. And they keep on progressing as well. It's
Perfectly.
one thing after the other. You said something very crucial. The fact that it's not only focused on one area or a specific region or place, but this is now multiple countries playing the same game. Political influence, religious influence, because I think the show would be way too long
Yeah,
when
I
we would
really want to
discuss
dive in.
Christianity and
That
Babylon.
can oh yeah, that's also
Uh,
possible.
that's also
I
a
thought you
whole
would go
nother
into
topic.
history.
Yeah, no, but even that, but historically speaking, the way that they dealt with the people of Elohim, look how much planning there has been from all these countries coming together to destroy his children. The level of planning, the years that they took, the attempts to annihilate us, but black people, you try to kill us, we become more. It's crazy, and I think that's why that judgment will be very, very severe. I feel that, like, Elohim has been, how do you say, I don't want to say collect his anger, but yeah, his wrath is waiting to destroy all these different nations, um, based on what they have done to us and what we're still going through. We're not done. They are still not done with us. So it's just waiting on Elohim. His people need to awaken. His people need to get out of those countries so that he can do what he needs to do to those nations, because the bloodshed has been too much. The mental warfare has been too much. The wars have been too much. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really don't know what to say anymore.
it's people might say you people are depressed, man.
No, we're not depressed, but
Okay,
something. No,
people
no,
are
no. We're
sad, man.
pessimistic. No, we're
Yeah,
real.
pessimistic.
We're realistic.
Just yeah. We are
No,
realistic.
like, get out of that bubble of yours. Those American dream. They even call it the American dream. Is deception. It's
Even that is
it's
deception.
deception.
Well, people are making it, right?
Yeah, but
Because now we would still go to a
hmm
bank,
hmm
ask for loan.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Now we
that's
will
true.
still live in so that's why I just that's why the story of Daniel also really it's a good source of inspiration also, right?
Yeah.
Because he was able to serve, to
hmm
live in Babylon, or to live in Babylon and
hmm
still able to serve Yah.
Yeah.
And he was still able to connect with Yah genuinely in his chambers.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a message that the prophets also wanted to send out to
Good
us
one.
nowadays. Fine,
Good one.
hey, it is difficult. Of course, nowadays you will not be forced
hmm
to worship. Not so long ago, let's say, even the Spanish Inquisition or the
Oh yeah.
Crusades.
Oh yeah. That's not. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not good. So basically,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's so many
no, because
topics that you can
someone
connect.
told me last, yeah, Islam is a really wrathful nation. They have done all these things to us, or now they are trying to force. They're trying to force you. And then we
Hey.
ask the question, fine, okay, but do you know the history of your belief, even Christianity? They fed you, not you, but your belief to
I
crocodiles.
hope you didn't
No,
say you.
yeah, to crocodiles, to family or your past to crocodiles. Yeah, did they do it in the name of Jesus? Aye!
Yeah,
I was like,
it's class.
So in so nowadays we are no more forced fine. Hey, you now worship
Mhm. Yeah.
Jesus or you will die or now or not. And Daniel back then he was basically
Mhm.
forced to worship or many of to worship the king,
Mhm.
and he still didn't bow down. So now, of course, it is much more difficult because now we have liberty,
Mhm.
everything we are no more forced to serve
Mhm.
Elohim or one king. So even the Dutch are against the het Koninklijk Huis.
The
They
Dutch.
don't care about
We should
it.
do an entire topic on the Dutch, the
So
Nederland.
so so now it's like, you know what, I will just no more serve, yeah, or I will not, and I'm not serving any god,
You're
so
still
I'm
serving
safe.
something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point I'm
Yeah.
trying to make. So if you're not serving, yeah, you're still serving something, and this something can be many people replace it by with the system, like science or
Mm-hmm.
even entertainment. People are also worshiping
Yeah, that's
entertainment,
just so much nonsense
and
that
the
people are
Babylon's
doing.
also found in that.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult lifestyle. How can we navigate through life living in Babylon? Because I still need a shelter, right? I still need my daily things in order to survive or to
Mm-hmm.
protect my
Yeah, but
my fellow
that's what
people.
we also said last time, right? Many of the prophets and those people, they did not live amongst those people. A lot of times, they would retreat to their own places, their own communities, because I already find the level of sin and of unrighteousness quite high in today's society. But you have to come up with different ways as to how you can protect yourself. It's not easy because yeah, you go to work, you go to school, you
You
shop
see,
here, you shop there, you eat
now
this,
that
you eat that.
you eat that, you see people on the
um so
streets,
it's
two
it's
men holding hands.
it's good to think about Daniel, a very good example. But
Now that
how
yeah, it's
the
good.
Bible says Daniel was of excellent spirit. He didn't eat of the things that they were eating. We're
Now we
already
chop
doomed
swine.
because we eat everything. We don't
Uh,
even check our ingredients, nothing. Even keeping the dietary laws hard sometimes. So how
life.
Daniel only had 3 friends with him, and
Ah,
together they were banding together, and even those 3 friends came to a point that it was either bow to the statue, the idol, as many of us have already done unknowingly,
unknowingly.
or die. And they chose to die, but they didn't die because Elohim saved them. But in some cases
You
you
will
will
die.
die. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
man.
make a beautiful story that
Yeah,
Elohim is
fam.
always going to save you.
Save you.
A lot of people have died because of their faith. A lot of people are still dying because of their faith. And yeah, that is something people need to realize. If you don't want to be part of the system, sometimes, yeah,
Yeah, reflect.
you
Reflect.
cannot.
Really
A
reflect
lot
your
of great
actions.
people went against the system. All of those people are dead.
That, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, man.
Babylon the Great.
Just think about your soul.
Mm-hmm.
The system is it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
What takes place must take place, right?
Mm-hmm. But know that even with all this crazy evil and not sometimes not knowing what to do, where to start, know that Elohim is always in control. Even this crazy plan is still under his plan and under his control. So I hope that people, that you can get some faith, some hope out of this. Try to get out from amongst Babylon. Don't love Babylon's ways too much. It's hard.
It's very hard.
It's really
It's
hard.
very
It's
But
really
when now we
hard.
are talking about Babylon, people they are still dealing with their own personal sins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How as even if you detach Babylon away from
Hmm.
everything, even if
Yeah.
there was no Babylon, we would still suffer in our own sins.
Yeah. So don't think
This
that,
life
yeah,
is tough.
salvation is not easy.
Life.
That's why I hate when people sell the story of salvation is easy.
Once saved,
Um,
forever saved.
hmm. But yeah, hold on to Elohim. That's all we can say. Hold on to Elohim. Try to research. Look at the news. That's what the ministers have been saying for weeks. Look at the news. Do your research. Make sure that you're aware of what is happening so you can put it in the right frame of time, and then you know when to move. When what does the minister say? When the bombs are dropping, then you know. Then you know when to move. So yeah.
Yeah, true. But many of us might not even live
Yeah,
because
people
because
are
because
already
because
dead.
nowadays it's like, of course, it's really good to know when the bomb might drop, but we might also die next week, and how will you die? Right.
Exactly.
So yeah. So I think also one thing
Mm-hmm.
to give is also that assess your life, man.
Mm.
And I really have to assess my life. I also think come to a point where, yeah, I really have to assess my life once
Mm-hmm.
again. But also deal with the internal sins, right? Your internal battles, your internal life, because some of us we might see that day, but many of us will never see that day.
Mm-hmm.
we might even come to an end next
Mhm.
month, next year. And how was your life? It will not say, oh yeah, man, you did research about everything. You know who was Babylon
You
the
knew
Great.
who
You have
Babylon was, and
identified, so
so
now you are entering to the new kingdom. Never, it's
no.
all fun. How was your soul? Did you try to remove Babylon from you? Your mindset, the things you were, which were idols in your
Mhm.
heart. Because nowadays, because it's like the Israelites, they went out of Egypt, right? But Egypt didn't go, went out of them.
Exactly. Don't die in Babylon. Don't let Babylon live in you. And don't die
Exactly.
with Babylon in you.
Ah,
Yeah,
too
yeah, yeah.
much.
It's I hope that for
Yeah.
everyone at home, it was a little bit clear all the things that we touched upon. It's such a big and large topic, so sometimes it's even difficult to look at what are you going to focus on, which angle are you going to take. But I hope there were enough bits and pieces for you to research more on the topic.
And
And
to
of
reflect.
course, tomorrow during the radio show, the minister is going to deep dive into Babylon, it being an evil ruling nation, and what the judgment will be. And hopefully, it will become a bit clearer. Please, you are always welcome to let us know what you think. So you can even comment after the video is done. Give a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and make sure you tune in tomorrow, 12 p.m. sharp, for the Hour of Restoration. So thank you very much, and have a nice Sabbath.